Hey, Pat Rigsby here, and in today's episode, I want to talk with you about building a power network. Let's get to it.
Welcome to the Fitness Business School podcast, the show for fitness business owners who want to grow their income, increase their impact, and improve their lifestyle. Be sure to listen till the end of this episode because we have a brand new special offer exclusive for listeners. So stay tuned.
The other day, I had the opportunity to go and speak with a group of college athletes. They did a kind of a career fair with athletes at Shawnee State University, where I used to be the baseball coach. And there was a panel of speakers, and I happened to be one of them. And I got to talk some about networking. And it's something that I think we kind of intuitively understand that we need to do. And we all probably have a little bit of an appreciation of the power of having a network. I mean, people have social circles on social media. They have neighbors, they have friends. And so I think we kind of get that. We may not think of it specifically about how it can benefit us in business, but it may be the most powerful business tool you have at your disposal in some ways. In fact, when I founded a couple of franchises a number of years ago, and we would do franchise training, like the onboarding for new franchisees, one of the first trainings that we would do with them would be something where they had a master kind of connection database, and they would list everybody that was in their cell phone. They would list everybody that was like a social media contact, anybody that they knew, neighbors, their dentist. It didn't really matter. And part of it was, how do we get those people to be aware of the business that we have? How do we invite them to experience it? How do we add them to our email newsletter or connect with them through social media about the business? Because even if they're not our ideal client, they can certainly be an advocate for us. But when you're talking to college students, they're not at that stage yet, right? They're not at all in that stage. But having a network, building the network, kind of digging the well before you need it, before you're thirsty, right? It's an important concept. And so there were two things that I recommended, that I would encourage any business owner, any person that kind of any stage in the journey, because we all are better with relationships. We all have a better quality of life through the strength of relationships. So the two simple things that I think we can do are have a follow-up system in place for connections that we already have, and ask for advice for kind of people that may be able to offer some insight towards where we want to go. And I'll use the phrase follow-up Friday. I learned this from my good friend and expert, Carrie Wilkerson. There's something to be said for alliteration, right? Follow-up Friday just gives you a time, a specific deadline where you're going to reach out to a handful of people and just follow up with them. But I think that if you are following up with people and just being interested in them and just saying, hey, how was your summer? Hey, what's going on? Been a while. Want to check in, see how you're doing. You keep those connections in order. Heck, this morning, I got a text from longtime friend, longtime client, and great entrepreneur, Brett Denton, who, man, he was involved in stuff that I was doing 15 years ago. Just a text out of the blue, nothing about business, nothing else, but it was that kind of example that you keep those relationships current, you keep them intact, and you don't let them kind of run dormant. So if you just reach out to 5 people a week and just check in and see how they're doing, a follow-up Friday approach where you're taking 5 or 10 minutes every Friday to make sure those relationships that you have are strong and healthy, that'll go a long way. And then the second is asking for advice. I think that asking for advice is a great way to get your foot in the door. And I know back, I used my time as a baseball coach as an example when I'm talking to the students, but I became a head college baseball coach at age 23. And so I was the youngest head coach at a university. There were about 2,600 schools playing at that time. I was the youngest head coach in the country, which was terrifying and also meant that I didn't really know very much. So I just cold called about any accomplished coach I could get a phone number for And the vast majority of them were kind and accommodating and helpful because I was really clear. I was like, hey, I'm new, I'm young, I don't know a whole lot, and I want to see if I could get your advice. And some of them would invite me to come work camp. Heck, one of them, they normally didn't pay for travel to come work their camp, but he actually covered my travel each time. And they were so helpful and thoughtful. And it's the type of thing that I think most of us can experience. If we want to ask somebody for their advice, we're essentially saying, hey, you know what? I see you as an expert. I see you as somebody who has had success. You have knowledge. You have expertise in the thing that I want to learn, and I would really value your opinion or your perspective. So asking somebody for advice is a compliment. It is kind of flattery. And so if you ask somebody for advice, then if they give you advice, that's the start of a relationship, right? It is now kind of informal, quick mentoring. And if you follow up on their advice, then you have an excuse to go back to them and say, hey, by the way, I did blank and just wanted to check in and let you know how it went. But the door is open. So we have kind of two buckets of people that we can continue to build relationships with. We have the people that we know, and we don't want to let those relationships die on the vine. So we just have follow-up Friday. We check in. And then for the people that maybe we want to know, we ask for advice. And if we do that, we're going to be incrementally growing our network with people that can make us better, that can offer insight, who may already be where we want to go and have blazed the trail and can give us some insights as to the path to follow to get to the goals that we seek to achieve. So if you want to be better at networking, if you want to build a power network, those two steps will get you there. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Fitness Business School. Before you go, I have a quick announcement. One of the things that we've been doing with our current clients is taking them through this ideal business diagnostic. And really what it is this checklist that allows you to pinpoint exactly what your business needs next so you can keep improving, keep growing, and build a business that you love to own. One that pays you well, one that allows you to have the impact you want to have, and one that allows you to have a lifestyle that you truly enjoy. In this diagnostic, we walk through everything and we do an evaluation and can instantly pinpoint what you need to do next to build that business that you want. I'm going to extend this opportunity to get on with either me or my team and take you through this evaluation and fix your business's most vital needs fast. So if we take you through this, you're going to be able to make those vital changes that you need to finally have what I call your ideal business. If you'd be interested in going through this entirely free, risk-free diagnostic with us and learn what you already have in place, what you're doing well, and where your greatest opportunities for rapid improvement are, just shoot me an email with diagnostic in the subject line to pat@patrigsby.com. Again, an email to pat@patrigsby.com with diagnostic in the subject line will get you scheduled and take you through this evaluation to help you build the business you want.